Let me ask you something. How many dreams have you buried in silence because of fear? Not because you weren't capable, not because the opportunity didn't exist, but because fear whispered, "What if you fail?" Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of looking foolish, fear of what your family might say, fear of the unknown, fear of what happens if you actually win. That fear, it's loud, it's clever, and it's relentless. But here's the thing no one tells you about fear. You don't have to conquer it. You just have to keep moving with it. You move. Not next week. Not after you've figured it all out. Not when you feel more confident or stronger or smarter. Now. One small step. Even if your hands shake, even if your voice trembles, even if you don't know what's coming next, you move anyway. You stop planning it to death. You stop overthinking every outcome. You stop using realism as an excuse to stay small. Because truthfully, most of that logic is just fear in a suit and tie, fear pretending to be responsible. But life doesn't reward hesitation, it rewards action. You think you're not ready? Nobody ever really is. You think you might fail? You probably will at first. You think people will judge you? They will. But the difference is this: they judged you and you still moved. They stayed silent. You took a swing. They played it safe. You got in the ring. And even if you fall, you learn. You grow. You stop being the person who wants to do things and start becoming the person who does things. Because if you don't take that first step, nothing else matters. Not the quotes, not the books, not the motivation videos, none of it. You'll always be standing just before the life you were meant to live. That's the difference between people who talk and people who live. And the truth is, fear never goes away, but you learn to walk with it, carry it, use it. Is everything worthwhile? It's risky. Dreams are risky. Relationships are risky. Putting yourself out there is risky. But regret is the most expensive risk you'll ever take. You know what to do. Deep down, you already know. But maybe you're just waiting for someone to say, "It's okay. You have permission. You're allowed to try." Well, here it is. You have permission. You're allowed to try. You're allowed to fail. You're allowed to look awkward. You're allowed to begin before you're ready. So let go of the doubts. Let go of the voices. Let go of the version of you that needs to be perfect before they begin. All you need is the next step, not the next 10 years, not the full picture. Just one small, bold, honest step forward. And the second you take it, the doors you couldn't see before they start opening. Nelson Mandela said, "There is no passion to be found in playing small, in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living." He was right. You weren't born to be small. You weren't born to be invisible. You weren't born to play it safe. You were born to move, to build, to try, to fall forward. So, if you do fall, don't fall back. Fall forward. At least that way, you'll see what you're about to hit. At least that way, you're in the arena. That's how you grow. That's how you change. That's how you live. Everything is risky. Breathing is a risk. Loving someone is a risk. Starting something new, that's a risk. But not starting, that's the greatest risk of all. So how do you face fear of the unknown? You move. Even if it's 1 inch, 1 moment, 1 breath, because 1 step, that's enough to change your direction. That's enough to rewrite your story. That's enough to start becoming the person you were always meant to be. And someday, you'll look back not with regret for what you didn't do, but with pride that you moved, even when you were scared. So don't wait. Move right now. That's how you beat fear.